Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 18, Frenemy of My Enemy. I definitely love this episode for the great action. I think the story was actually really freaking sweet in this episode too, so I think this one definitely came together really, really well, and I'm excited to watch the next episode, which I'd love to watch like right after this because I'm already 2 episodes behind now, but it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I think I'm just going to have to save it for later. But I love this episode. We finally got to see Coulson and like his mini team finally meet up with Ward and Agent 33. And I was waiting for this to happen, and it was definitely exciting. Things didn't exactly play out the way I thought they would. It was definitely a lot more action and a lot more cooperation than I was really expecting. I thought there would be way more issues than they had in this episode, and really they didn't have any. They had like the one moment where they kind of had a bit of a little bit of an argument, on the ship. There were guns pointed, knives pulled. There was some stuff happening. People on a different ship were about to all get destroyed. So there was a short moment where things weren't exactly 100%. But aside from that, they didn't really have any issues. Like Ward, he accepted the deal that Coulson made with him. So they're working together. Agent 33, she's working with them as well. They're actually protecting each other. There were probably 3 or 4 different points during like the crazy building shootout where Agent 33 and Ward combined actually did save both Coulson and Hunter when they didn't have a chance to protect themselves. So they're really following through with this plan. They want to, get this deal. Like, that it's what he wants. Like, Ward wants this deal to work out. He wants to get um, everything that Coulson promised him, and he's really following through. And it may change a little bit now that he knows it's about Skye, and it seemed fairly simple enough at least. But things are definitely intense. I really can't wait to see the next episode, especially with Coulson having given himself up. So he, Hunter, Agent 33, as well as Ward, they're all going to be going back to the base. And I'm not sure what to really expect from that. I don't know if that's going to be dangerous. I don't know if that's going to be safe. I just don't know what to expect. And obviously Coulson feels confident enough that he's in the right in order to, go back to the base, and he'll have enough evidence to kind of help himself as well as Fitz and Hunter. But I don't really know. I was surprised also that he was going back at the end of this episode, because I thought they were definitely going to play the route of, you know, Simmons, she hacks into Deathlock's visuals, and of course the first thing they see is Coulson and Ward working together, and it's like, well, that's horribly out of context and really bad for Coulson. But I really thought that's the route they were going to go with it, so it was really exciting to see them kind of skip right over that. And it's like, that happened initially, and I'm sure it's still going to be a question. Even if he goes back with Ward, they're going to ask, why the heck are you working with this guy? But he'll have the answers. He'll have enough answers. I'm sure the info with like Deathlock's visuals, well, I guess it won't matter if they are recorded, even if they're hacked into, because he's been taken, unfortunately, by Hydra, as well as Lincoln. They were both hit with like the crazy like spiral wave bomb thing that knocked them both out, which is kind of cool. But now they've both been taken, so Hydra now has Deathlock as well as an actual superhuman, and things just went really crazy at the end. It was like Coulson was right there with Skye, and it's like, they found each other, and then Gordon zaps in, and it's like, I gotta get you out of here. She was like, no, not yet. And then her dad runs in, tackles Gordon, and he gets teleported back with them because he didn't want to be left alone. And it was just crazy. Like, there was so much craziness going on. I love the ending scene, and I think it was just really well played. Like, the action itself was cool, but just the way everything worked out, where it's like, we were right there. Like, he almost had Skye back. They found each other, and then she was gone just like that. Who knows what's gonna happen with Kyle, because things were getting revealed just as Hydra was coming in. So he was getting a little pissed off and stuff. And I loved how they started it. And it was like, he was like, well, why would anything be wrong? Why would I be angry? And then he like stabs the scissors into the top of the filing cabinet, and he keeps walking slowly. And it was just a great scene, and he gets mad at Lincoln and stuff because he realizes that he's not just having a great day out with his daughter, he's having, like, possibly his only day out. Like, he's being left there in the city because he's not one of them, and he's kind of a liability. He's just being left alone. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I like the whole episode. I think was really good for the story that we got. The Cal and Skye stuff I really enjoyed. Like Cal trying to do everything he can to be like a good father and show Skye, like, I know I was like just all over the place. I was crazy and angry and emotional, obviously, but I want to be a good father to you. And it was just really cool. Like, I enjoyed it, and him telling these little stories and telling her about like the school that he'd found for her, and us finding out like little stuff like him working. What the reason he met, I believe her name is Jia Yang is how they pronounce it. The reason he met her is because he was working for Doctors Without Borders, and he was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, but he fell in love and he just never left. And that's how he met his wife. That's how he ended up having a child. And he owns this building and stuff, and he remembers things that aren't there anymore, and just all this little stuff that he wants to hold on to. And Skye even tells him, like, it's just not how it is anymore. Like, she has all these people to help out, whether they're currently human or currently superhuman. They've been chosen or waiting to be chosen. I'm an adult now. I kind of do my own things, working with S.H.I.E.L.D. I kind of fought against you at some points. So you can't really hold on to the past like you're trying to right now. And it was just, I thought it was all really well played out. And then, of course, the little reveal where she mentions, like, visiting. And, of course, Lincoln saying, like, saying certain lines, and he, it just kind of clicks in Cal's head, like, I'm being left here, and I won't ever get to see my daughter again. That's how he's feeling after all this time. And he finally has this moment. He has this great lunch, and he thinks everything's great. Like, well, we can't go get ice cream here or anything like that, but I can tell you about the past. I can tell you about me, about your mom, how we met, and what I hoped for you and for us as a family. And I just thought it was really well done. I thought it was really interesting to get all this information and see him try to be this great father, although Skye knew, like, the entire time, like, he's gonna lose it. I'm gonna leave here because that's what's happening. He's gonna be dropped off. I'm gonna get teleported out of here, and he's gonna lose his mind, and he's gonna kill a bunch of people all over again, and it'll be the same thing that I dealt with before. And I just like that. It was pretty cool how she had to deal with this. And, like, her mother was like, they're not my concern. And so I was like, well, they are mine, though. So it was just really cool. Like, you see the separation and how they kind of classify themselves. Like, her mother's like, I am one of these people. I'm superpowered. And Skye's like, I might be superpowered, but I'm human. Like, I help people now. Like, I've worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. and I've helped other humans. And that's what I do. I have a responsibility to keep doing that. So it was definitely really cool. I loved that. The stuff with Ward and Coulson and the whole team, obviously that was great. I mean, Fitz and Ward, I wasn't sure what to expect with that, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I mean, they had the one scene where Ward first speaks to him. He's like, so, how are you? And Fitz just loses it. And even before that, he's like shaking and his hand is like on his gun because he just wants to, kill Ward. But I think the tension is just going to build, especially in the next episode when he's around everyone else. He's going to be around May, and he's going to be around Simmons. And even though it was technically like that in the beginning of this season, they did have him captured. They were all there. Things are still a little weird. He's not going to be their captain anymore. He's, even in the preview, it was like he's helping them go to what seemingly was like Antarctica or something, probably like Alaska to make him a bit more realistic. But he's helping them now. He's going to be there for whatever reason. They don't just put a cap in his brain. But that's fine. Like, he's going to be there. He's going to be helping the team. And who knows how that stuff's going to play out. But I definitely love this episode. I don't know what's going to happen with Lincoln and Deathlock. I mean, they've been captured by Hydra now. Hydra's really been brought back into the fold with this episode, which I actually enjoy because Hydra, after they were defeated, like the whole Whitehall stuff, Hydra kind of just was like, eh. It was almost like they got 100% defeated, which obviously wasn't the case. But that's kind of how it was. It was like Whitehall was the Hydra the head. He was the Hydra head that we really knew, and we were I don't want to say attached to, but he was the one that we knew, and he was very well known because he was the main villain, and then he was killed off. And after that, it was just like, it was craziness because the team was all split up, and they kind of dealt with Ward, and Skye's father was off in the wind. All this stuff was happening, and it was still really cool. But he was like, well, we killed Whitehall, and that was kind of it for the storyline of Hydra. So I was excited to see them really brought back into things in this episode, and we saw that with Ward, like he is the Hydra connection at this point. But it was definitely great. It was cool to see Hydra come back into play. Um, we got to see one of the other, big heads of Hydra. Bakshi, gets Deathlock and Lincoln at the end, and he's basically going to send them to whoever the scientist guy is, or one of the other heads of Hydra, who's working on superpowered people, doing these experiments and saying, excuse me. But sorry, I'm just like super tired. But he's doing these experiments to see, what's happening, or how long are these people going to survive and stuff like that. So they're in a pretty interesting position. Who knows where they're going to end up? They might possibly be able to go and find them if they can somehow, hack into Deathlock's visual feed again. But I don't know. Like, he was knocked out. Lincoln was knocked out. Odds are they've got all these crazy things going. They're talking about quantum entanglement, so they can basically capture Gordon. They can almost... It seems like what this is kind of leading to is that because they can track him, where he pops up at it, if they get close enough to wherever he is, wherever the temple is, they will sense that on their radar, and they'll fly right there, and everything will get exposed. The Inhumans will be 100% exposed. So I'm not 100% sure how much longer that's going to be, but I'm pretty sure Gordon, dropping people off left and right, he's going to be tracked back to the temple, and it's going to be like an all-out war up there, and a lot of people aren't going to make it, and I don't know what's going to happen. And they, hinted at a couple of different things, like the character Ethan, who left in the last episode to kind of go hiking, he's vanished. Cheyenne kind of assumes it's Hydra, I believe. Like, who else would it really be? They're the bad guys. So she assumes it's Hydra. I definitely assume it has to be Hydra. And then, one of the other things they kind of touched on was Reyna and her possible precognition abilities, because she would be the first of her kind, just like Gordon was with his teleportation. And I think the main thing with him is that his teleportation, he has the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. It blocks bullets and this and that, and it pushes people away. And so there are just certain things about it. He also has a connection to other Inhumans. Like when Skye called him after she used her powers, she just said she was like, Gordon, I'm ready. And he just popped right in. Like, he knew exactly where she was. And it's like, if he knows who you are, he has an instantaneous connection to you. He knows. He'll pop up right next to you. He'll make his shield, and he knows whether or not you're safe. I guess he can sense it or something like that. But wherever things are headed, I'm definitely excited for it. I don't know if we're going to get a crazy all-out Inhumans battle between, the Inhumans and Hydra. Maybe even a three-way battle with them and S.H.I.E.L.D. because, the real S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be doing some crazy stuff. But I'm excited for it. I definitely love this episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And what do you guys think of the ending building battle? Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened. There was the cool action stuff. But the story elements were interesting too, like Deathlock and Lincoln being captured by Hydra. Skye being taken back just as she, runs into Coulson as well as Ward. And so she'll probably talk to someone about that, like how she, her relationship or lack thereof with Ward. But we had that, Lincoln Deathlock being taken, Gordon, teleporting with Skye, and Cal kind of jumping in on that and making it back to the temple. He's going to be pissed off when he gets there. So there's a lot of, there are a couple of different plot points and stuff, and Coulson giving himself up at the end. as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm excited for. But I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.